The political discussion and decision affects all of us, as we know very good nowadays. That's why many communities looking for methods, processes, concepts and tools to make broad-based decisions. In my work, I'm going to figure out a framework, especially for municipalities or regions. In the end, the goal is to help the politician let the citizen really participate and finally make resilient decisions. I know there are already many professionals that have ideas and methods. These ones I will include in my thoughts and extend by the idea to think in digital and physical environments, so-called hybrid methods. But to not be locked in one single field of science or point of view, what sometimes happens these days, the process and result needs to be transdisciplinary and aware of the fact that the political decision must be seen in a dynamic environment. Beyond the dynamic environment, the last requirement for the framework, since yes and no decisions are outdated, is that the methods must satisfy a fuzzy approach. There are 9 topics which will be covered closer. The first one is the basic approach of decision making. There exists already many ideas how decision making works, how arguments are handled and conveyed, transparent and clear. The second topic is e-government and collaboration. There are already different platform tools and initiatives for public collaboration with concrete approaches and instruments like voting systems, surveys, public consultation or basic e-services and so on. The already mentioned fuzzy approach is probably not that well known yet, but builds a strong pillar in my work. Let me explain why this approach leads to more precise and human results. Usual voting contains the yes and no option. If 51% say yes, the result is a yes. With the grayscale idea, there could be more options in between. So the yes, no, or maybe can be expressed by a so-called membership function. To simplify, you see here the same yes and no voting if the voters could decide how much yes or how much no. In the graphic you see many clear no's at the very right side and almost no clear yeses and a huge amount of unsure people, the yellow. These are exactly the same votes as in the yes-no graphic above, but with grayscales to come to a result, you see there is something different. But there are more fuzzy methods than only for voting, for example in clustering and so on. The expression transdisciplinary means that many disciplines must be considered in a solution finding. Not only experts from nature science or social science participate for the solution, but also the society, especially affected stakeholders, must announce their options. So the approach to get to results must be holistic. The field of argumentative mining is about the structurization of single statements. There is already research that statements can be automatically ordered in pro or contra arguments, conclusions, and so on. The idea is to analyze running text and statements for structurized handling. Maybe there are tools or approaches that can be a welcome complement to my research from this area. There are already a number of methods for communal or regional participation. Most known are World Coffee, Design Thinking, Group SWOT or Delphi, and so on. Some of these are combinable for fuzzy, hybrid and dynamic participation, and some maybe not. Summarize. I look for a framework and recommendation out of tools, processes and methods for the public sector to make resilient and transparent decisions in a hybrid, transdisciplinary and dynamic environment under consideration of fuzzy methods. A tool for contemporary political decision making.